Good day, everybody. I just wanted to drop by for another quick weather update for you. If you want to know the weather, then just listen to what I tell you. You might learn something. Just say it. All right, so let's get into this. First things first, I do want to remind you if you want to hear me on the radio or you want to hear a quick forecast, listen for me on WSKV 104.9 FM in Stanton, and you'll be able to hear my forecasts. All right, here we go. First things first, let's talk about these 3 days. Still dry and pleasant temperatures somewhat until we get into your Sunday. Then that's when the temperature starts to ramp up a bit. So for your Saturday, you've got clear sunny skies, high of 87 degrees, give or take a little bit. Of course, right in towns, you're going to be hotter. Out in the country, you'll be a little bit cooler. A few clouds in the afternoon. If the clouds happen to be a tiny bit thicker, that'll make the temperature just a little bit lower. For your Saturday night, a few more passing clouds will hang around, low around 60. So we're above the 40s. We had, I think here at the Old Lester Plantation, I think we had 4 nights in the 40s. So that's pretty good for August. I mean, folks, this is the dog days of summer. This is the hottest point of your summertime here. For your Sunday, mostly sunny again, just a few passing clouds. Some heat and humidity does start to build back in, and that's when it'll start to feel just a little more sticky, a little more humid. It is summertime. I mean, really, it's not summertime until September 22nd. So this is normal. Well, a tiny bit above normal for temperatures. For Sunday night, mostly clear, low around 66. Now, your feel like temperature here on Sunday, it probably feel like around 92, give or take just a little bit. And, the same thing with the high. Like I said before, your highs could be in, upper 80s. You could be 92, 93 for a high. It depends on where you're at. But for the most part, we'll say around 90 for a high. And it'll feel just a little tiny bit warmer. For Monday, more hazy, hot, and humid conditions. Still hanging around. We are seeing a little haze in the atmosphere. That haze, for the most part, is from the smoke from the wildfires out west. Folks, they are just amazing. There's so many of them everywhere. And I know I mentioned this in the last video. It hasn't changed a whole lot. We're still seeing smoke from some of those wildfires. So for your Monday, sunny, hot, and hazy. High around 93. A very small chance of showers in the afternoon. And I think our feel like temperatures, our heat index is going to be just a really, really close to feeling what it actually is. The humidity's not up that high yet. It's getting there, but it's not that high yet. So once we crank that humidity up, then we'll start to really crank up those heat indexes. But for right now, around 93, 94 degrees for the heat index as well. For Monday night, mostly clear, low around 67. So truly not a terrible, terrible forecast. It could be a lot worse. I mean, considering we just came off of a week of well below normal temperatures. Hey, I'm happy. It's okay. We're doing fine. It's not a bad. It's not 190 degrees or anything like that. I know some people in Texas, folks, they have had 100 plus for multiple, multiple days. So we should feel blessed with what we've got here in the Bluegrass State. Not too many places around the country have had just these nice, cool temperatures this year. And some things I've been watching, I'll mention here in a minute, kind of does hold some good questions for what might happen in our fall and winter. Okay, so let's look at the maps. For your Saturday, the high pressure that was over us before, it was up here, it's kind of hanging out to our south now, and you're going to see those little high passing clouds around us from time to time. Not a big deal. Our next system is way out here, out west, and it's going to be working its way through, but it's going to take a while to get in here. We do have a little bit of a disturbance that will affect our weather next week, and it'll take it a while to work its way in because it don't have a driving force behind it. As you can see, the clouds are just kind of in the middle of all these fronts. It's just kind of hanging out. But we will have this kind of a setup here that it'll disturb our weather later on next week. So for right now, we've got the high pressure in charge. That's providing us with warm air from the Gulf of Mexico. The humidity hasn't kicked in yet because the front's holding that humidity out. But we do have that warm air working its way in. Remember, highs circulate in this direction. They circulate like this. Lows circulate opposite, like this. So as your high is circulating, it's pushing in that warm air. And you've got at least some rain out west, but it's not much. Wyoming's got a lot of wildfires. Montana's got a few. Washington and Oregon have had tons. Idaho's got quite a few. Thankfully, Washington and Oregon does have a little bit of precipitation that's helping that out. Okay, for your Sunday, notice the high still hanging around. This low is slowly working its way across, very, very slowly. And same thing. I mean, not a lot to talk about, just a few passing clouds. For your Monday, guess what? Virtually the same. This high is still hanging out, giving us that warm flow of air from the south. And you're starting to see that there's now at least a little energy in the atmosphere here. You're going to have this develop and slowly work its way through to Tuesday. I would put up a Tuesday map, but I don't have one. They only go out 3 days. So it would be what you'll see is this kind of weather will actually start to work its way in on Tuesday. That'll give us that extra chance to have a little bit of a precipitation, precipitation coming down. A little bit of rain, not a big deal, I don't think. This front will usher in some changes again, but it's going to be after next week. Next week's going to be 80s to 90s, 91, 92, 93 every single day next week. And then Friday of next week, this big cold front will work its way in. As it does, that will help to cool us down for the following weekend. But I do believe next weekend will be rainy. So, you've got a nice weekend this weekend, no rain really. Get out and enjoy it while you can. It's a good weekend. All right, that's our 3-day forecast here. And I do want to remind you again, if you want to hear me on the radio, tune in to WSKV 104.9 FM or pull it up on listenlikealocal.com and you'll hear me on the radio. I also say to don't forget, give my little video a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. I see a lot of you watching and not too many people give me thumbs up. So, I don't know if you don't like it or what, but if you do, please give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. And, folks, I appreciate everything that you do for me, everything that you say. And always remember, Jesus loves you, and so do I. Have a wonderful weekend.